All right, let's dive into it. In this episode, I'm going to share with you how my whole life has come to a pause the last couple of weeks and how I've entered in the most difficult initiation of my life, or at least it feels like it right now. And how, funny enough, that happened when I'm literally living my dream life. So it's not supposed to happen right now, right? So if you do follow me on social media, you know that I have moved to south of France, end of March, beginning of April. Everything has been flowing exactly the way I've been wanting with my partner, my dream relationship, my dream dog. Everything has been amazing until it wasn't. So as a manifestation teacher, imagine my horror. The human part of me has felt absolutely crumbling, has felt huge shame and guilt around, oh my God, I keep on telling the world that you can manifest your dream life. I keep on talking how I manifested my dream life. And now that I'm living it, it's no longer feels like anything but hard. So it reached a moment where a couple of weeks ago, nothing felt good anymore. So I want to talk to you about it today. I will probably make different videos because the whole purpose of starting this podcast / YouTube combo, and I'm sharing all of these in written formats or like smaller videos also on my social media, has been to share with you vulnerably 100%. You have heard me say this before and you haven't, you're going to hear me now, that I've been always sharing it 80 to 90%, but now I want to share 100%. Okay. All right. So I have a little bit of red wine. I felt like having a sip. So I'm just going to cheer with you and let's dive into it. All right. All right. Yum. All right. So it was a few weeks ago where I felt like a statue, a God looking like figure stood up in a pool of shallow water and said, "Stop, Raluca." Not in a threatening way, not in a hard way, not in a maleficent way, but in a protective way, in a way of setting boundaries with me. And I'm literally describing, and please expect these audio / videos to be very vivid imagery because I do receive a lot of my intuition through images, even though most of my intuitive hits come through the feeling of knowing and the feeling of the feeling, the feeling and the knowing, right? So like I know stuff, or I just feel it in my body. So I do like to translate that as much as possible into words for all of you, but sometimes I do receive it in beautiful imagery, like in snapshots. And this was one of them. And it's still very present. So it still comes very vividly in my mind how I see that. And it almost felt like my soul just wanted to tell me, okay, you know what? The time has come for you to actually listen to me. The time has come for you to actually do what you want to do. My soul has been telling me for months now, has been giving me signs, subtle signs, flirting with me, giving me the energy, giving me the information of what I'm supposed to do, what feels good to me. And I haven't been listening to it. That's the reality. And my body and my mind, especially my body and my brain, have been fighting it. They have been, no, 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 no. This is hard. And for the last months, I would say probably up to 6 months, it has been almost like a vicious cycle where I would go 2 steps forward and I would follow my soul purpose, which I'll talk about in a second what it is, okay? And I would go and do basically what my heart wants, what my soul wants. I would act upon those creative urges, okay? And then in a couple of weeks, I would get scared and I would be like, oh, it's not working. All my fears would come rushing up and I would take 2 steps back. I'd be like, no, 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 we're not doing this. I'm not doing this. And that has kept me stuck has felt quite horrible. And I think what has happened looking back is that I kept going so much back and forth, and I felt being pulled into different directions so much and so hardly and intensely that at one point the universe had to like the universe had to like draw a line in the sand. The universe had to, for my own good, just stand up and be like, okay, Raluca, you are done. You have to understand that you have to go and follow your thing now, not later, now. And there have been so many lessons. There have been so many moments where I could see, like, okay, I have to go and follow the thing. I have to go and actually trust myself. And there have been all these signs, you know. For example, at one point, I think it was over a month ago, it was in June, when it kind of just hit me like, oh, I'm very much living my Saturn return. I'm in my Saturn return. I'm turning 30 in November. I've been experiencing my Saturn return for like 2 years now. I've been feeling it maybe even 3 years. And it's going to go on for a few more months, probably up to even 1 year. And it almost felt to me intuitively that Saturn, which is, as far as I know, the planet of lessons, is a very good teacher, a very harsh and rigid teacher as well. But Saturn was also an extension of the universe, of course, and had to stand up and be like, okay, bitch, are you going to learn what the lessons are, or are you going to keep on blabbering around and keep on avoiding them? Because if not, I'm going to give you more and more opportunities and more tests to see, can you actually handle it? So things have been going basically worse and worse for the last few weeks. Initially, it started with me losing complete motivation. I got the urge to do to create my manifestation mega course, to assemble it together, to put all my knowledge into a beautiful outline. It was so clear in my mind, and then it started to fade away. I started to get a lot in my head, and I wasn't able to actually follow through anymore. My old fear started to come up again. My biggest fear is fear of not being good enough, which goes hand in hand with fear of being rejected and being alone. I promise I'll make a whole video about that separately, because that comes from my witch wound from a past life, and it's basically my biggest, darkest core wound, my biggest, darkest root. And from there is obviously a tree with multiple more superficial fears coming out. And that has been coming up. And then things started to like get even worse. I started to feel uncomfortable in my day-to-day life. I started like really not enjoying anything in my life anymore. More things in my life started to bother me, you know. So I remember a few weeks ago, my partner came home from work, and I was supposed to take Toby out, which is our dog, for a walk. And I don't know what happened. What did my partner say? What was the conversation we had? It was more like a interaction and a conversation, actually, that I got really, really, really upset. And when I got out of the apartment, and I almost slammed the door behind me. And while I was walking down the stairs, I remember thinking for the first time in forever, way before I started this business, I had this like thought of like, I hate my life. And that really hit me. I'm like, whoa, where did that come from? What's happening with me? I wanted to live here. I wanted to move to south of France. I wanted to live in this area. I wanted to enjoy this kind of lifestyle. I wanted everything I have now. I wanted to launch the Mistress Mind, which is the program I've been launching. I wanted to create the Manifestation Mega Course. Like everything I have now, I wanted. So I'm like, what's up? This is weird. And suddenly all the things I was fascinated by when I moved to south of France, I could find beauty in everything, because that's what I teach my clients. That's what I believe the purpose in life is, to find beauty in everything. So I was able to find beauty in everything. And I was in awe of the beautiful flora and fauna around me, because I've always wanted to live in this area in south of France. And I was enjoying all the orange trees and the olive trees and the palm trees and the colors of the sky and the sunsets from my beautiful terrace. And suddenly nothing that I've been wanting to have, which I have manifested, made sense anymore. And suddenly our little cute kitchen felt ugly and disgusting, and my bathtub felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to take baths anymore. And I haven't used my terrace, my beautiful patio, how do you say it? Apologies for the grammar mistake, sometimes it happens. I haven't used my patio. You get it, right? The terrace furniture. I haven't used it in over a month now. And, we got this beautiful grill. My partner got it for his birthday, and we've been wanting to make barbecues. We haven't been using that. I've been wanting this little desk here in the corner of the house. I have been using it. Like, everything started to just fade. And I had a moment over the last few weeks where I felt genuinely like I lost all senses. It felt like I lost all I couldn't taste anymore. It felt like my life became a black and white, tasteless, flavorless movie, or even more framed picture. And nothing made sense. My body became numb, of course, so there was no welcoming for me for pleasure, for joy. My tools suddenly felt like they weren't working anymore. I'm trained a bazillion type of tools, and I work on so many levels for my clients that I suddenly couldn't just coach myself anymore. I didn't feel called to have any kind of support, to the point I was actually at one point, before I got this image of the statue, I felt like I was going through maybe a depression. And I obviously know that for me, especially for me as my human design, depression and being in a depressive state is actually the expression of the shadow of my conscious sun. If you're new to human design, this might not make sense to you, but I trust that people who follow me, they probably have some idea of what I'm talking about. If you're curious about it, you can always drop a little comment below, or talk to me on social media. I will redirect you to people who teach about this on a regular basis. And if you join my programs, human design is something I teach as well. But yes, for me, depressive state is expression of the shadow of my one of my most important gates in human design, right? And it happens when I'm not comfortable with resting, which goes hand in hand. Again, I'm a manifestor in human design. I have been having a lot of troubles with learning how to rest and how to navigate the creative / rest cycle as a manifestor. It's one of the things I have not mastered at all. So everything started like crumbling on me, and it felt like it was so many lessons from so many perspectives, from so many angles coming at me, right? So it was my Saturn return, it was my soul speaking to me in different signs, it was different mentors telling me different things. For the last 6 months, they have been telling me different people, they have been reflecting back the same message more or less in different words. And to be honest, I've been caught up in a paralysis, in a freeze mode. And I think it was more than just a body freeze mode. It felt more than that. It felt like my entire identity got into a stuck mode. Of course, if I reflect on it, I'm aware it's not true. It's basically a body reaction. It's a mind reaction. It's not a soul reaction. My soul was not in freeze mode, but that's the thing about the body and the mind. They're so powerful together, and they make up the ego, right? A lot of the times, your ego lives in your body and your mind. It's so easy to get completely derailed. It's so easy. It's so easy for them to take over and for you to feel like everything is being distorted in your life and nothing makes sense anymore. And things started to happen, like things started to not work out anymore, but it was this continuous balance. So I never felt like I've completely fell out of grace. I never felt like God completely gave up on me, because what happened throughout this past couple of weeks where things got even more intense, universe would give me a tough lesson with a certain aha moment, with complicated conversations with my partner, which I'm not going to go into for the privacy of our relationship and specifically his privacy. Because I'm here sharing everything about me on the internet. There's no privacy anymore almost. So I have had some of those tough moments. I have had moments around money. Money suddenly stopped coming in. And actually right now, as I'm recording this, I'm in a phase where just yesterday, some money started coming in. But for a couple of weeks, I have different income streams that just paused. Clients that are late on payments, or clients are trying to pay me, but they have different technical issues to pay me, which was very weird. Or clients that wanted to join other programs, and then suddenly things happen and they're almost like in a pause mode. And unexpected expenses, like I received these letters from Holland, where I used to live like years ago, regarding something about taxes and finances and whatever. Not gonna go into details again, privacy stuff, but so many random fucking things. I received a credit card from Portugal, which was not supposed to be anymore because I no longer need a credit card, and it was kind of sent to a wrong address and it was lost. So all these issues started to come up. It almost felt like every day was something would happen good. I would have amazing client results, or I would have an aha moment about my healing, or I would realize something about my past or my gifts, or, maybe something would come in like a gift, or my partner would come home with roses, or we would go to a beautiful movie experience, or we would go to the beach or whatever. So I had a lot of duality where things were happening so beautifully in the same time. And I'll be like, oh my God, thank you, of course. And I will welcome it and receive it. But I was not surprised at all when an hour later, I would receive an email about a client receiving a horrible news about themselves or their family, or a payment being defaulted, or, something happening. I'm going to knock on wood. Thank God, and all the gods and the universe and the higher divine, there has been no real loss. So I have old grandparents, I have family, all my family is abroad, is back in Romania, and I'm abroad, actually. That's the most correct way of saying. And thank fucking God, everybody's safe. Everybody's safe and healthy. Even with my family has been some drama, there have been some things going on at home that have left me felt so powerless because I cannot help them, because there's nothing I can do to help them. But thank God, nothing health-wise, nothing loss-wise. My dog is fine, which is very important for me to mention because I've experienced genuine losses, and obviously I understand what's the most important thing, and it's health at the end of the day, right? But everything else felt horrible. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm aware that if you read this story of mine, you might not fully get why is it so bad. And if that's you, you might not be fully aligned with me at the moment. But the people that are watching this, I know you get it. You get it. Sometimes life can look good from the outside, and it doesn't have to be such a big thing, but it can feel absolutely daunting and horrible on the inside, right? So like so many stuff. For example, my nails started to break this summer. Not my nails, but my gel would start to pop up because my nails grow faster. So I had to like reschedule my whole nail appointments, and I had to suddenly spend extra money, double the money per month on my nails, and travel to the place where I'm going to them twice a month. Like all these things started to shift, which again, I'm aware how it sounds. Yes, hashtag first world problems. But I just want to share with you that things have been weirdly tough, and things that normally do not happen started happening. And it just got worse. And I will keep some of the core stories, some of the core moments that have happened for the last 2 weeks, but especially 2 weeks specifically, but I will probably go into details for the last 6 months in this series. I will keep those details in other episodes, and I will make episodes specifically for each those key moments. But things started to just kind of get worse. So last week, oh my God, so many things happened last week. Last week, at one point, I realized it really clicked. I had a witch wound. It was somewhere around Monday, I realized I had the witch wound on me from a past life. And it sounds crazy because I work with the witch wound. I help clients heal different type of fears and negative emotions they have stored in their bodies from previous lifetimes, where the label of witch has been put on them from different reasons, and then that automatically affected their lives in some ways. But I never ever expected or assumed that I have the witch wound. So that sounds silly now, but it's true. So I found that then after that, one day before, I had a huge mental breakdown, where my boyfriend basically did not know what to do, and he told me, you need to find some specialist help because I cannot help you. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to spend extra money right now on like a new specialist or a new mentor. Like I was such in a scarcity mode. And after that, I had a metaphysical tune-up for healer. She found so many things on my energetic field. It was ridiculous. I'll share about that in another episode again, I promise. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, I realized that I come from a line probably of some type of powerful, maybe witches, maybe psychic, maybe gifted women. But I've always knew this about myself from my mom's side. There's something there. And I've always knew I had a big spirit team around me, but I've never wanted to contact them because of fear. And then that day I realized, actually, from my father's side, I'm inheriting some stuff. And it's interesting because I have no connection to my biological father, and I've never met his family. He left out of my life when I was 2. So there's a lot of emotions going up there. It's almost like a Pandora box has been opening. That was on Wednesday. And I believe it was on Thursday, I was doing a meditation, and I realized that I have gifts even more than the ones I've been embracing, which are my psychic abilities, my intuition, and stuff like that. That I do have gifts, and that I have probably used them for bad and not for good, for bad in a previous lifetime. I had a very creepy experience on Thursday. I realized, oh, okay, there's a certain shadow inside of me. I've used my gifts for their darkness in a previous lifetime. That wasn't fun. Friday, I was supposed to travel to meet my friend in a different city in France, and then my train got weirdly canceled. Not even canceled, it just didn't come anymore, and nobody updated about anything, and the app didn't say anything anymore. And I was just basically left alone waiting for the train 1 hour later. And in the end, I had to basically buy a whole new brand new ticket to travel next morning instead of that night. And then Saturday was in the morning, while I was traveling to see her finally, I actually, before that, I just realized Friday, before the station of the train, I had a horrible, not horrible, that's not a correct word, but a very tough conversation with my partner. That was tough. Everything was fine. And we realized, we started a new chapter in our relationship, and everything has been amazing. And he has been extremely supportive, but that conversation was tough. So that was tough. And then the next day I traveled finally to see her. And I remember in the train, I posted it. Oh, I'm feeling so good. Finally, the first time in forever, I'm feeling so good. And then that day, my iPhone gets stolen with my whole life on it. So I'm talking like I was on vacation with no access to anybody, because I don't remember anybody's phone number by heart except my parents, which were on vacation in Turkey. And with no access to my bank accounts, because my bank accounts obviously are on my phone. And with limited money, because most of my money, I keep them in savings, not in my checking account, which might not be the smartest thing now looking at a retrospective. And I had a huge meltdown almost on Saturday night on the trip where I was with a good friend of mine and a client of mine. And yes, everything together has been absolutely wow. I don't remember what else has happened after that, because after the iPhone, oh yes, after the iPhone, it was so ridiculous because I got stolen the iPhone. I came back on Sunday, and Monday we were supposed to go and buy the new iPhone, and then the Apple store closes earlier this week for some reason that I had no idea. And here I am still having an iPhone. Yesterday I wanted to buy the iPhone online and it didn't let me. So universe has been telling me for months now, go and follow your purpose. And I'm going to wrap the video right now. And I'm going to tell you what the purpose is, which is share your heart creatively. Follow your urges and share your lessons. Trust that there are people out there that want to hear what you've been going through, your ups and your downs, your trials and your errors, and trust that people want to hear this because it's going to help them initiate themselves into whatever new chapter of their lives. You sharing your story, I'm talking about myself right now, okay? This is what soul is telling to me. Raluca, you using your voice and sharing your heart and your lessons to the world is what you need to do. You do that, and then everything is going to come in abundance to you. The peace, specifically, the love, the soul contract with clients, the money, the joy of creation, because you're supposed to be a creative person. So stop trying all these other marketing and sales techniques and stop trying to like overthink all the ways you could do X, Y, Z, and just go ahead and share openly. Now, it might sound like a small purpose, it's a huge purpose, or it might sound like, okay, but Raluca, you can do that. But no, because what I'm called to do, it goes completely opposite to my biggest core wound, which is if I'm not good enough, if I'm not enough, people will leave me. They will reject me. They will judge me. They will reject me. They will leave me. I'll be left alone to die alone. Yes, I know how it sounds. So yeah, here I am doing my purpose. Finally, I'm not gatekeeping anything from you. I'm sharing stuff that I haven't shared ever online. I'm going to go into really raw, transparent details. And I want to thank you for welcoming me in your hearts with grace, for acceptance. If you feel interested by just, seeing that you're not alone in this up and down, that, you can be someone that teaches something and still have lots of healing and learning to receive. And I hope that me being so open and transparent and vulnerable and messy and human will just give you permission slip to understand that you are perfect yourself too. And, we can all manifest together, and we're supposed to master manifestation, to master life, to master living in peace and alignment together. So thank you for watching episode 1 of Let's Master Manifestation Together, the podcast / YouTube combo. And thank you for watching the first episode of the series of me being vulnerably myself. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode where I will choose to go more into details around the signs of how I knew my iPhone is going to be stolen and I didn't pay attention, or how I knew I'm going to be locked out of my bank accounts but I didn't pay attention, or how my spirit team has been trying to contact me, but I've been ignoring, or my witch wound, or I'll talk about all the things, I promise, okay? I'll share with you my past life experiences, all the interesting stories. If you like this, please give me a like. If you're watching on YouTube, please give me a like. Please subscribe. Please give me a comment. I really appreciate that. It helps me to reach more people like you. Share with somebody that, they might actually enjoy this, because I want this to be with people that generally understand. I don't care about the numbers. I just care about the people who receive it. If you're listening to this on any of the platforms, please go ahead and rate the podcast, or like it, or subscribe, whatever you have to do on that specific platform, and share it with anybody that you think might enjoy it. If you want to connect deeper with me, besides commenting, I would recommend to follow me on Instagram or social media. The Golden Coach, Raluca the Golden Coach, is how you're going to find me on all the platforms. And then you can just slide into my DMs, just ask me anything. I'm always open for your takeaways, for your reflections, for your experiences that you want to share after you listen to mine. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. And see you next time.